So while we're in the process of repainting this grill, I'm recording a video for that. I think I'm going to make this a separate video. So you're looking to buy your first Jeep. There's a couple things to consider. What do you plan on doing with your Jeep first off? That's first and foremost. For me, it's more of a daily driver. If that's what you're looking for, a Sport or a Sahara might be your better option. After that, if you're looking for something a little more hardcore, turnkey off-road, the Rubicon is the way to go, I personally think. However, with that being said, if you're looking for the hardcore off-road, you want to do your own modifications and stuff, the Rubicon may not be the best option, because with the Rubicon, you're getting the Dana 44s automatically from the factory. That's one of my big things, in the 4-to-1 crawl ratio, which is a real good crawl ratio based on what research I have found. Personally, I did not go with the Rubicon just simply because of the cost. I bought the Jeep on a spurt notion, and it just was one of them things that I just made happen. Long story short, waited 10 years to get one and got in a hurry and bought one. Kind of wish I bought a Rubicon, but then again, I'm kind of not entirely disappointed because I have a Sahara, so the Sahara is really nice out of the box. Nice interior. I've got heated seats. I've got the nav. I really like that. The only thing I really don't like about the Sahara is the 3:21 crawl ratio, or, sorry, let me correct that, rear gear, final drive gear. Final drive be the big ring gear you got inside your differential, along with the pinion. Take it in, put those numbers together, you get a ratio. I don't know why. I got crawling on the mind. You take those two numbers and you put them together, and that's what. So, with me, the 321 was not desirable. It's not something I wanted. However, for the time being, it got me what I wanted. It got me in. I got my Jeep. I got what I wanted. It does have the Dana 44 rear axle, but the downside is the 3:21 crawl ratio. And that, my friends, when it comes to bigger tires, 3:21 is not going to cut it. You're going to strain your transmission and put a lot more stress on your engine. Excuse me. So the 3:21 is not desirable. That's when we start discussing the Rubicon. The Rubicon comes with a 4-to-1. The 4-to-1 could potentially allow you to run 35s or possibly 37s. Do I recommend running 37s with a 4-to-1? No. But I'm no Jeep expert. This is my first year with a Jeep. I'm just trying to share my experiences and what I've read and the research I've done over the past 10 years before I even bought one. I've done a lot of looking around. I got a lot of Quadratec catalogs. Instead of looking at Playboys, I looked at Quadratec catalogs. Joke there, haha. But I have those catalogs stacked up. My father had a 2003 TJ that I absolutely adored and loved it. Really wanted one, and then other circumstances came up and he ended up ultimately getting rid of it. So from then on, for like 10 years, from the time I was able to drive up until now, I'm about 30 years old. My math might be a little off. My dad got the Jeep back when I was in middle school. Like I said, I'm almost 30 now, so you can probably figure out my age at this point. I waited that long, so in the meantime, he was getting those Quadratec catalogs coming in. I would take those Quadratec catalogs and be flipping through them, looking at parts, looking at lifts, looking at everything. I mean, I was younger then. I wasn't looking at the numbers and other things, the more detailed technical specs. However, I was looking at parts and stuff, so I got a good general idea based on my 10 years of looking, and then the last couple of years Google searching when I got my JK. So that brings me to my point. The Rubicon out of the box is your best turnkey off-roader from the factory, by far. Personally, in my opinion, I think the Rubicon is probably the Mac Daddy. It is the way to go if you're looking for a turnkey off-roader that you don't have to do nothing with. Out of the box, it's real capable. Put a slightly larger tire on it, maybe a little bit of lift, and I think it would be super capable. The Sahara, all Jeeps are really, in general, can be made very capable with just very small lift and some slightly larger tires. But the Rubicon's going to handle the bigger tires way better than, say, a Sport or a Sahara like mine, because you have the stronger axle front and rear. Now let me clarify with that. The Jeeps typically come with a 44 in the rear. However, the difference between the Rubicon and all other Jeep Wranglers is the front axle is a D30. So when it comes to off-roading, you have to take that into consideration. When you start putting bigger tires with a weaker axle per se, a Dana 30, Dana 44 being a little bit stronger, Dana 60s, and I think they even go all the way up to 80s. 60s would be what people typically call the 1-ton or a 1-ton swap. When you hear that, they're pretty much putting a Sterling axle from a truck. I don't know a lot about 1-ton swaps because I never really researched it, but this is based on what I've found out and what I'm understanding from what I've seen thus far, and I may research that further later on. So please correct me if I'm wrong. Feel free. So that would be your Dana 60s. That's when you start hearing about 1-tons. 1-tons, you're pretty much unlimited at that point. You can go all the way up to 40s and far beyond 40s. I don't know, like, it would put you in the ballpark of being able to comfortably run a 40 on your Jeep with other accommodating modifications such as lift, better suspension, control arms, and a bunch of other things that really get costly, gears, which kind of makes me revert back to the Sport. So when I revert back to the Sport is a base model. You think, well, there's nothing there. There's not a lot of Jeep there. And you're not wrong. There isn't a lot of Jeep there. With the Sport, you're not getting a whole lot of doodads and bells and whistles. It is your basic Jeep, but costs a lot less. So then at that point, you take that into consideration. What do you plan on doing with it? That ultimately leads me to the thesis of this video. What am I planning on doing with it? Do I plan on going four-wheeling every weekend and busting up some of the hardest trails I can go? Or am I just looking for a leisurely drive? Maybe do a little wheeling on maybe once a month or so. Maybe not even once a month. Maybe like every 6 months or so. You know, at that point, a Sport or Sahara would serve you better. But then, you know, with the Sport though, you have the possibility of saving some money. So then you take that money and you save it. And you've not spent all that money on your Jeep, so then you turn around and you can take what you spent on the purchase, subtract that out, and whatever you got left over, that's what you got for upgrades, basically. So a Sport, honestly, is a better starting base than what a Rubicon would be. Rubicon's going to cost you more up front, but it's going to be more capable. And that might be sounding like a contradiction what I said prior. But technically it's not. The Sport is an excellent base if you're just looking for a driver to get out there and maybe later on go all out. Bumpers, lift, winches, tires, gears, axles. I mean, the whole 9 yards. You can do that with the Rubicon too, and there's a lot of people do that. Jeep's like super versatile. Super, just, it's crazy the mods out there. I mean, people are doing. It's just unreal what you can do with the Jeep. That there's all kinds of mods. So then it brings me to the next question. What kind of top are you looking for? And I'm sorry if I keep looks like I'm looking away. I'm looking at my phone screen right now as I'm recording this. So what are you looking at next? Do you want a hard top or a soft top? A lot of people live up north prefer the hard top. In theory, they feel as though it might be a little warmer, and in theory, it might be a little bit safer. I kind of argue that point just a little bit, and some of you guys from up north may disagree with me. But if you're in the United States, up north it gets a lot colder. Hard top might be a little better for you. And if it is, if you feel as though it's better, or you think it's better, leave a comment down below. Feel free to, because I'm kind of curious as to understand, why would you go with a hardtop? I mean, I'm not hating on you hardtop guys. Them are some really nice looking Jeeps with hardtops. Real nice. But if you're like me personally, I prefer to take my top off frequently. My Jeep gets the top removed at least over the summer, probably once. 1 to 4 times a month. And it don't go back up for probably a day or two, depending on the weather and if there's a threat of thunderstorm. Which brings us to my next point. Some of you may have not thought. Excuse me, I've been a little bit sick with a cold too. So, with a hardtop, here's the downfalls to a hardtop. It might possibly be warmer in the wintertime. I really don't know the argument with that, because all I've had is soft top. That's all I'm ever going to have. So even if you do try to convince me to get a hardtop, it's not going to work. You're not going to be able to do it. So with that being said, the hardtop does, however, offer you a little more safety and security. But what I was going to say is the negative side of it. The biggest thing for me was you can't take it with you. You have to have a storage spot for it. It takes up so much space, and you have to have that spot to store it, because you can't take it with you. However, I have seen where people got soft tops and hard tops. They've got a hard top, and inside of the Jeep, they've still got a soft top bolted to it. I have seen that. That's a question you gotta ask yourself. If you're one of those guys that's like me, takes the top off constantly, soft top, hands down, way to go. Don't even look at nothing else. If you like the wind in your hair, the full Jeep experience, yeah, go with a soft top. I'm telling you. You might find out though you like the hard top better, and really the hard top does look a lot cleaner. My soft top's got some age on it now, and over the years it's been beaten by the sun and just baked and everything else, and it don't look as good as it once did, but it's held up very well. I'm assuming it's the original top because I bought my Jeep used. I really have no way to confirm it. I do know that top is made by Best Top. Best Top, super high quality top brand. If you were looking to replace the top on your Jeep, Best Top's the way to go. Based on everything I can find, Best Top's going to give you the highest quality top out of all of them. Cost-wise, you're going to pay for it. I ain't going to lie. I try to sometimes save money where I can, but the top's probably something you really don't want to save money on. Because that makes up a big part of your Jeep. But I think my video, I'm starting to ramble a little bit. So let's backtrack. You got 3 levels of Jeep you can choose from. You got the Sport, which is the main go-to for somebody looking for a Jeep that wants a daily driver, and maybe something they could heavily modify later on or then and there. Number 2 is the Sahara, similar to the Sport. However, with the Sahara, you're getting a nicer trim package. It looks nicer on the inside. It's more appealing. Heated seats, navigation. If you guys know if the Sports come with heated seats and navigation, I really don't know for sure. Invade Hunt, I think some of them power windows with the Sports are optional. They're not a standard piece of equipment. Please, guys, leave me a comment if that's not the case. So we went over to Sahara, the Sport. So what we got now is the Rubicon, the Mac Daddy, the ultimate out-of-the-box turnkey off-roader. In my personal opinion, probably the best starting base will be the Sport. Ultimately, the Sport is better as far as modifications go. From a capability standpoint, the Rubicon's just going to serve you better. It's got the better crawl ratio. It's got the 4-to-1. And it's got the heavier duty axles to handle bigger tires straight out of the box. And that's upgrades you aren't going to have to pay for later on. It just depends on, it all comes down to one big theme, one big idea: money. How much money are you willing to spend? And that's the biggest thing you got to ask yourself. Another thing too, I talked about hard top versus soft top. You're going to come out a little bit cheaper, I think, with the soft top. So, anyways, guys, it's just some questions you need to ask yourself, before you buy one. My biggest thing is don't jump into the first thing you see, and anybody will tell you that. I jumped into my Sahara like really quick, and needless to say, I'm about to do a little bit of groveling, but it's been pretty expensive. Kind of wish I went with Sport and could have saved some money, because the Sahara really ain't that much better. However, in the end, I believe I've got more of what I want with the Sahara, and yeah. So I'm going to start complaining there a little bit on that, so I'm going to stop on that and go ahead and cut this video off, because this cold is messing with me and it's getting hard to talk. I just been meaning to do this video, just getting it done. So, guys, them are just some questions you need to ask yourself. Hope you guys liked the video. Let me know what you think. Personal opinions, I'd like to hear them. Leave a comment below. Apologize if this video just looks like you're looking up at me through the video, because my phone's propped up against a cup and a cup holder and a pillow. I record with my cell phone most of my content. I hadn't got to a point where I bought a higher quality camera to be able to do stuff like this. So, and plus on top of that, that's one less expense, more money for the Jeep. So, sorry guys if this video ain't as good as you'd like for it to be. I apologize. I appreciate those who have followed me, and on Instagram, I'm running Topple Sahara. If you're looking for a new follow, if you already are a follower, thanks, appreciate it. Subscribers, thanks guys. Just to know, I got some guys on YouTube following me. That's awesome. As far as RC videos go, I'm going to try to keep those rolling out here and there. I'm kind of juggling two builds. I got the hardcore scale build I'm working on, and I say hardcore because it's hardcore scale for me. Kind of never really done a full-on scale detailed RC car, so it's a new experience for me. So it may not be as detailed as some of those other builds out there. We're also working on the JK out in the driveway there. In the process of doing stuff to it as I go. Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion's coming up in August. It is approximately July. I forget what day it is, but we're about mid-July. I'm going to try to drop this video today, so if you're seeing it, that's about what time it is. So that's coming up. I'm getting ready to go on vacation here very soon. Actually, take it back. I said July. It's about mid-June. I'm a dummy. Forgive me. This is the first time I've really spent some time on the camera talking and really getting into some detail about certain topics. So, excuse me if I seem all over the place. Sometimes I like to get on here and just ramble, and it's a bad habit. And these videos just getting too long. But stay tuned, guys. Videos are coming. I'm trying to keep on regular as far as dropping content, keep you guys entertained. Once again, subscribers, thanks, guys. There's only a few of you, but thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate the comments you guys have left me. And any of the new subscribers, thanks, guys, for joining. You guys are what keeps me going, keeps me rolling these videos out and trying to get this content out to you. It keeps me wanting to keep doing it, So, I'm trying to record. I'm a one-man show. If you hadn't already been following me, so everything's done from a point of view of what I can do with this Samsung Galaxy S8. So that is what I'm recording from. If you guys are interested, you're new creators. But guys, I'll talk to you later. This video is starting to ramble. Y'all have a good one.